Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another part of my Renovating EA series, and this time I am renovating this house, which is Johnny's Zest trailer, and I am so excited to share it with you guys. This has been one that I have wanted to renovate for such a long time, and I've tried to renovate it a couple different times, but it just really hasn't worked out. I haven't really liked the changes that I made, but this time I really like it, so I hope you guys will like it too. But of course, let me know what you guys think. So as far as like the changes I made, mostly it was to like the landscaping and adding this side porch, but I left the floor plan exactly the same, and the overall like structure of the trailer is basically the same. I think I made it the shortest wall height though, because originally it was the medium wall height, and I felt like it just made it look a little bit strange. I mean, not that big of a deal, but I did change that. And the interior, I think, turned out so cool. It's very trailer looking, I think. It's got like wood paneling. Originally it had wood paneling too, but it was like this gray wood paneling, and I changed it to the brown version, and I think it just looks so realistic. It looks like so many trailers that I've seen in real life. And I did look on Pinterest for like trailer home ideas while I was building this one, and that's where I got the side porch idea, because a lot of them seem to have like carport or side porch areas. And so on that side of the house, I give Johnny a poker table. I think he has a radio out there, a basketball hoop. He has the barrel barbecuer that came with Jungle Adventure. He has that on that side of the house. And oh, washing machine. I put that on the porch as well. And I was thinking, because originally maybe the trailer didn't have washer and dryer hookups, and so he was able to wire in a washer, but he doesn't have a dryer yet, so maybe he will get one eventually. So I put a clothesline, so he has to dry all of his clothes on the clothesline, but he can wash them in the washing machine. I thought that was a bit of fun. And then on the other side of the house, I do some planter boxes, some flower beds, and a couple of chairs with like a cooler. Oh, I put a fire pit out here too. So he has like lots of different activities, but I just tried to make it look, I don't know, kind of more established, because originally the trailer looked like it was kind of just plopped here and had like this weird gravel area. I wanted it to look like it's been here for, I don't know, a longer amount of time. It's a little bit more established is the only word I can think of. But yeah, hopefully you guys do like it. I just had so much fun with it, and I'm so in the mood now to do other trailer homes, and I think it would be a lot of fun to at least add one more, if not two more, to my save file, because I think it adds a nice variety of different types of homes for your Sims to live in. And if you guys would like me to include one that is empty, because I have mentioned as I've been building up my save file that there will be a home in each of the worlds. I think Windenburg is the only one that has two, other than some of the apartments, but they will be empty, that meaning that they'd have like the whole floor plan and landscaping laid out, and then the only appliances and like furniture are going to be in like the kitchen and bathrooms. So it'll have like the refrigerator and stove and all the countertops and then like the toilet and shower, but everything else will be empty. So I'm thinking about doing a trailer like that as well, so you could just start a new save file moving in a trailer home here in Oasis Springs in the desert. I think that would be kind of fun. So let me know what you guys think about that. But here I was gonna add like this window kind of decoration. I don't know, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but I was having trouble keeping the items up here on this ledge. I was trying to use this shelf, hoping that they wouldn't drop, because I learned recently, I forget who said it, but they said that if you don't have a room on the outside, I think it was the Tides Changing. She said that if you don't have a room on the exterior and you lift objects up, then they will fall. So I was trying to like avoid that by doing these different little tricks, but I don't know, it didn't really look the way I wanted it to, so I don't end up keeping that. But I think it still looks okay in the end, and I actually kept the gnomes and that flamingo decoration that the house originally had. I actually just set them off to the side so I didn't forget about them, and then I sized the flamingo up and put it in the front flower bed, and I thought that looked really cool. And as you can see, those items from the window just dropped on the ground, so at that point I was like, you know what, I don't like it that much, I'm just gonna get rid of them. And then the gnomes, I just kind of scatter them about in random different little spots. And as for the landscaping on this lot, I added some palm trees and then some regular trees that looked like ones that were already in the neighborhood surrounding this house, because I wanted it to kind of blend in, because it's a pretty big lot, so I wanted it to look kind of seamless with the neighborhood. And then I just add some like grass around later, and some of those agave plants that are in the debug menu, because they're 0 simoleons, these ones right here. So I use those quite a bit, because I didn't want this trailer to end up being really expensive, because it doesn't seem like it would be an expensive home. I think it ends up being like 40,000 simoleons, which is quite a bit more than I wanted it to be. I probably wanted it to be around 30, but 40 is not too bad because it is fully furnished. Like, the house is really decorated and the exterior is as well. So I was trying to save some money with the landscaping because I feel like that can really drive up the price of a house, is like going overboard with the landscaping. So really happy that those ones work so well in this world and they don't cost anything. Oh, I gave him a little kiddie pool out here because I thought that would be so adorable on like a really hot day in Oasis Springs if he came out and went in that little toddler swimming pool and just laid there. I thought that would be really funny. So I included that, and yeah, I pretty much just scatter these bushes around. The landscaping's not too exciting. I really was just trying to make them look kind of natural. I was going to make another flower box over here, but it looked a little bit strange, and then I just shrink the concrete a little bit. I really liked adding the pathways around the house. I felt like that made it look like, I don't know, more established. I wanted it to look more like it's part of a trailer park neighborhood rather than just stuck out here in the desert, plopped in the middle of a lot. Like I wanted it to look like it was supposed to be here, and I think it turns out really nice. And I wanted to say sorry for the lack of videos this past 5 days. I think the last time I uploaded was on Halloween, and I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween if you do celebrate it. I had a good one. I handed out candy, carved pumpkins, watched Hocus Pocus, and yeah, it was a really good time. So but yeah, I just haven't really felt that good, and it's been making me kind of tired ever since I've been like got back from Sims camp. It feels like I've been trying to get sick. I'll like not really feel good for like half a day, and then I'll feel fine, and then I'll start to feel sick again, and it's just kind of made me feel really tired. But I'm feeling much better now, and I've been working on things for my save file kind of like behind the scenes and getting Sims ready and kind of getting things planned out. So really excited. It's been such a fun project, so I'm very excited to finish it. And a lot of you guys do ask me when it will be finished, and I don't really have like an exact date because it's kind of a hard thing to predict, I think, but I'm shooting for the end of the year. I'm not exactly sure how well that's gonna work because we are getting a new world with Get Famous. It's not like a giant world though, it's a pretty small one, which is kind of disappointing, but it's kind of good news for my save file, so that won't take me as long, I don't think, to fill in that world. But I still have a lot of community lots to do, but I am shooting for sometime around the new year, so cross our fingers. But yeah, so I've just been working on stuff like that, and I've been working on a penthouse, which I mentioned a couple builds ago. I'm so excited to share that one with you guys, but I think I'm gonna wait for Get Famous to finish that one. And I'm thinking about doing just a random apartment build that's not for my save file because I miss doing apartments, and I've been holding off finishing the other ones for Get Famous because most of them that I have left to do are all in Uptown, and I figure I might as well wait for that pack to do those apartments because I feel like it's just going to be so much better if I'm able to use a lot of those more gaudy, fancier items. And I do have one left, I think, in the Arts District, but I think I'm going to wait for Get Famous for that one as well, too. Or at least the update. When's the update coming where we get the fashion... What is it, the fashion career? Or what is it exactly? It's a person that's like the stylist, right? Forget exactly what it's called, but I'm waiting for that one because the sim that I'm gonna have live in that apartment, he's really into fashion, and so I think that's gonna be perfect for him. So I'm kind of just in limbo, and also waiting for terrain tools. It's kind of like, I need all these new things to keep building. But anyways, we are on into the interior of the house, and I switched over these wood walls to this light wood paneling, and I think it looks so cool. It took me some time to pick out some tile. I was thinking about going for some like shabbier tile. This one would have been perfect. That yellowy one looks like tile I've seen in real life, like in some like really old out-of-date homes. But I can't remember which tile I actually ended up going with, but the backsplash, I actually used a fun one that came with Jungle Adventure, and I think it looks really cool. It adds a bit of like fun and kind of, I don't know, I think it looks really nice. Some of you guys might not like it with this style, but I think it looks really cool. But as you can see, I didn't change the floor plan at all. I'm just changing out all of the appliances. I went with these really shabby countertops that came with City Living. They're really worn, and I thought they looked perfect. And I thought this red refrigerator was a bit of fun too. And right now I'm trying to pick out a backsplash, and I was trying to go with one from Parenthood, but these ones I just felt like were so much fun, and I think they added just like a lot of like color and kind of a little bit more personality to the trailer, because I feel like Johnny has a lot of personality. I mean, he wants to be a comedian. I think he has a gregarious trait, so he's really social. He wants to be a comedian, so I feel like he's just a lot of fun. So I felt like adding a little bit of fun tile in here kind of represented his personality a little bit. Oh, that's right, I went with terracotta for the floorings. Yeah, I thought that looked kind of nice. And he's also ambitious, a goofball, and outgoing. So yeah, he's just a ton of fun. And I gave him a makeover for my save file, and he looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited with the way his makeover turned out. I gave him longer hair, and I think I changed up his facial hair too, because right now he has like this soul patch on his chin, and it's not the best look. So I think I gave him facial hair. Now I can't remember, but I know I gave him longer hair, so he looks pretty good, I think. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But I was trying to get like the bathroom and kitchen kind of figured out right off the bat, and then I go on to decorate the living area, and the living area ends up being kind of like the dining area too. I put a dining table in there, and there's a TV, of course, and I think I gave him a guitar. He had one originally, which I didn't realize until I went to go take the before and after screenshots, and I was like, oh cool, he already had a guitar. So yeah, I thought that was kind of nice that I added one again. And Johnny in my save file is going to have a dog. He has a little chihuahua, and I thought that was really cute. So I do put a dog food bowl in here, as well as a couple of pet beds, one pet bed in the living room and then one in his bedroom. And then in his bedroom, I also give him a computer desk, but no computer. I figured he might be saving up for one, because I felt like, I don't know, it's kind of an expensive thing to have, so maybe he will get one later. But he has a desk with a journal so he can write down different notes, things about his day, because I imagined, since he is a comedian, he does a lot of writing. And then he has his microphone in there too, so he can practice some of his stand-up comedy and his jokes and those kinds of things. And I loved using the green carpet on the interior. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then I do put up a couple of cobwebs on the exterior. And then here I'm just fixing this flower box because I felt like it was a bit big. And I do use a lot of debug objects in this build, because I just thought that was a bit of fun. I wanted to add some extra clutter, and like I said, I was trying to keep the price down, and a lot of debug objects don't cost anything, and if they do, they're really cheap. So right here above the toilet, I add some like bathroom-ish looking clutter, and I thought that looked pretty cool and added a lot of extra decoration. And I was trying to find objects that actually snap to the surface of shelves, which we kind of have a lack of in-game. There will be lots of objects that look like they're small enough to actually fit on a shelf, and then they won't fit to it. But I was trying to find those. You can use the Control-9 key to raise objects up, but I've noticed that when you have the walls in the cutaway mode, then the objects just stay floating around the build, and I didn't really want that if I didn't have to. And I found a lot of these cool like cleaning supplies. I think that one thing is like bird feed, but I figured why not? Maybe Johnny likes to go out and feed the birds, and for whatever reason he keeps the bird food in his bathroom. But I thought this area looked pretty cool. It looks like he has cleaning supplies anyways. And there I just used some move objects to place that object where I want to, but then I realized that it actually floated there, so I think I ended up getting rid of one of the things on the shelf, so none of it's floating. I don't really know why I was being extra particular about that, but I was. But I do really like the way that bathroom turned out, and I really liked using the ceiling fan in the living room and the bedroom. I felt like that was pretty realistic too, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to build other trailer homes. This was like one of the funnest builds that I've done in such a long time. I have a couple of Sims that I'm thinking of building one for. I created them. I didn't do a creative sim of them, and I wish I would have, but I recently gave them a makeover, so they're just wearing in-game clothes. But there are a couple Sims that I made right after Jungle Adventure came out, and they're two friends who, one of them wants to just explore the jungle, and she's a bit wild, and then the other friend, she's a little bit like more like academic, like the academic type, and she wants to learn about the archaeology, but they're both kind of just really into adventure and they want to go explore. And so I thought that they would be perfect in this neighborhood too. So I think I'm going to build a trailer for them. And then like I said, if you guys are interested in there being an empty one, then I might do another one too. Who knows? Maybe I'll just fill this whole neighborhood with trailers. I don't know if I'll do that, but this was a lot of fun to do. It took me forever though to pick out curtains. I ended up going with just some plain old blinds. I was gonna go with these ones in the blue swatch. I think I ended up changing them to the white swatch. It's like a white or a light brown one. I just felt like the blue was a bit, I don't know, a bit too mismatchy. I was going for a pretty mismatched look in this house, but it was just a little bit too much. I do leave the blue for the blinds in the kitchen and the bathroom, but I felt like in the living room was just a bit too much. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's not, but that's what I was thinking at the time. And then I also go with these couches that came with City Living that you get at the flea market. I was really just trying to pick out items that I thought looked a little bit more cheap and a little bit more shabby, I would love it. I know I've mentioned this several times before, but if we ever get like a starter home pack or like a yard sale item pack, I think that would be so much fun. I'm actually missing stuff packs, and I've seen some people mention that recently on Twitter, and it's kind of funny because, you know, the first several years of The Sims, everybody's like, there's no expansion packs, and now there's like no stuff packs, and I like getting the small stuff every once in a while. I mean, like the Caribbean stuff was kind of like getting a stuff pack, so I guess we got that, but I don't know, starter home stuff pack would be pretty cool. But I do change the color of the couches here in a little while to the brown one. I felt like the yellow was, I don't know, a little bit too crazy, but I did give his Chihuahua a dog bed. I gave him that egg one, and I just thought Johnny would think that was pretty funny, so I put that there. And then I also go into the debug menu and clutter up the coffee table with like a pizza box, and I think a soda can. Your Sims will probably clean it up because it'll probably spoil, but I thought it was kind of fun for screenshots and just for decorations. But yeah, I feel like Johnny would probably order pizza quite a bit. But here I am trying to pick out chairs for the dining table. I didn't want them to be too crazy, so I think I ended up going with just these brown colors, but I definitely wanted to use these wicker ones because I felt like they look like lawn furniture. Maybe he picked them up, you know, at a store for really cheap, or he found them at a yard sale and he was like, oh cool, there's all 4 of them, because I thought about mismatching them, and I was trying to do that with some chairs on the exterior, and I don't know how people do it so easily, but I'll watch some Simmers and they mismatch furniture so well, like when they do the mismatched chairs, and it looks so good, and I don't know, I'm just not that good at it. So I left them all matching, and then I put a side table over here, hung up some fish on the wall, and I gave him a fishbowl too, and just tried to lay down lots of different little clutter decorations. And there's a guitar, and then I'm switching up the color of these chairs over here too, because I felt like the peachy color just, I don't know, it didn't really work for me, but I think I still end up using those chairs because they come in a really nice worn swatch. I just used them, I think, in that gray color. And I also really liked using that sliding glass door leading onto the side porch. I didn't mention it when I placed it, but I really liked using that there. I feel like it's so realistic, and I think that's one of the best items that we've got as far as like new items go in such a long time. So I was really happy with that. But now I'm going through the debug menu trying to find some clutter decorations. I put that little llama statue over there on the side table. I thought that was so cute. And then I find some headphones, a soda can, and I also find some books to lay around. So on the side table, I think I put like a handiness book, and then on the coffee table I put a comedy book. And now it was recently pointed out to me by Grumpy Lynn Sims on Twitter that if you place one of those sized up books and you just let it snap to where it originally snaps to on a surface, then your Sims can get to them. Because I mentioned before how I haven't had Sims be able to pick them up, and that's because I use move objects to freely place them on whatever surface it is. So you'll notice how I pull the surface away and then use the move objects to keep them at the same level. And yeah, then your Sims can't reach them. But if you let it just snap to it and leave it in its original spot, then your Sims can, which is really good to know. So thank you so much, Lynn, for pointing that out to me, because now I know if I want them to be able to read those books, then I can, but I really don't want them to. I use them for clutter decorations. So, but I thought I would tell that to you guys in case you were wanting your Sims to be able to read the books. They look a little bit weird though, because since they're sized up, your Sims still hold the book as if it was its original size. But I don't know, that's okay, it doesn't bother me too much. But here I'm just cluttering up the hallway. I gave him this little shelf right here that has the leashes on there, and then I also put a mouse hole in the hallway, which I thought was kind of fun. And then there's also the bookcase in there, and then I also gave him some neon signs that look like they're from like a bar or something. I thought that that was totally something that Johnny would like to decorate his house with. And then this is going to be his bedroom, so I use the same blinds that I used in the living room, and then I copy over the ceiling fan. And I also merge in that single light bulb that came with laundry day. I did it in the living room too, but I'll point it out now because it's a really good way of turning the ceiling fan into a light fixture. They just merge together perfectly, and I think it looks really good. But now I'm just picking out a bed, and I ended up going with this one because I just really liked the colors of it. I would have probably liked to go for a shabbier, cheaper bed because this one is actually one of the most expensive beds that we have in game, but I feel like it doesn't necessarily look like it. But I don't know, you can exchange it if you would like a cheaper one, but I felt like it just looked so good, so that's the one that I go with. And then over here I put a built-in board by his microphone. I feel like this is where Johnny keeps track of all of the open mic nights and anywhere that's hiring for a comedian or anywhere that he can book a job or something like that. So thought that that was pretty cool. And other than that, I pull out this computer desk. I thought about adding it in the hallway and then moving the bookcase in here, but I ended up moving the bookcase back to the hallway, and then I put the computer desk here in the corner where I also give him a journal, like I mentioned, so he could do some writing or whatever he needs to do. And then I also go through the debug menu and give him some decorations. I also gave him a backpack because I feel like Johnny is definitely pretty youthful, so I feel like he's the type of young adult that would carry around a backpack. And then I gave him this playing card poster, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I just put a plant in the corner to kind of fill in the space. And other than that, I really just decorate his dresser and side table with a bunch of debug objects and other clutter decorations. I really used a lot of debug in this build, but I think it's a lot of fun and gave him kind of more quirky and different decorations for cluttering up his house. So I think it gives it a little bit more personality. I really liked that. And then there's this kind of anatomy doll, which I think is kind of strange, and I haven't used that often. I think I've used it a couple times in like teen bedrooms, but I feel like it's kind of a weird thing. So I really liked adding that in here. And then I just decorate his desk with some pencils and like a lamp and a few other little decorations, and then I move on to the exterior to do the final terrain paint. For whatever reason, when I reloaded this lot, all of the terrain paint inside the flower beds had deleted itself, so I have to go through and redo all of that. And yeah, then we are done with the build. So I hope you guys did enjoy this renovation, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to future ones. But enjoy the screenshots, and thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio's playing our song, and then you stood there smiling at me as so many times before. I'll never wanna be away, leave you again. You are all I want and more. It is true. If only I could do one thing, I'll be with you. It is true. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Waiting at the doorstep, finally home. I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio's playing the song. It is true. If only I could do one thing, I'll be with you. It is true. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Will you still love me as I'm getting older and old? And when you are away, I sometimes shiver and cold. It is hard to define you, but you're worth more than gold. When everything is told. Waiting at the doorstep.